Thank you for very interesting speeches so far. I think we have so much in common. Yes, my name is Anna Bjørshol, and I am Head of Department of Equality and Universal Design at the Norwegian Directorate for Children, Youth and Family Affairs, who is also a Norwegian Directorate for Equality in Norway. Thank you for the invitation to talk about independent living in Norway. Living freely and independently and being a part of society is a fundamental aspect of being human. Self-determination and participation in society are prerequisites for being able to exercise all other rights. Article 19 of the UN Convention of the Right of Persons with Disability is meant to protect against restriction on a person's ability to make their own choices, both in everyday life and in major decisions. Oh. Can we see? There. Norway ratified the CRPD in 2013 and is obligated to respect and secure the right inherent to the Convention of different levels of government and in all sectors of society. The CRPD is not currently incorporated into national legislation. However, just last week, the Norwegian government declared it will be prepare a bill on the incorporation of the CRPD into the Human Rights Act. So that's exciting for us. This followed the recommendation of an independent expert committee that submitted its report to the government last year. The purpose of the Human Rights Act is to strengthen the status of human rights in Norwegian law. By incorporating the CRPD into the Human Rights Act, the Convention will prevail in the event of the conflict with regular domestic legislation. While we wait for this bill, we know that it is at the local level of government that decisions are being made that have a direct impact on people's right in and their everyday lives. This is why the Norwegian government launched a nationwide project in 2019 to implement the CRPD at the local level. The project is run by us in Bufdir in close cooperation with local state administrators and county governors, and of course with the Organization for Disabled People. This ongoing initiative aims to strengthen knowledge about the convention within municipalities and explore to make a more accessibility and relevant in practice. So it's a kind of guidelines. We have developed several resources and learning materials. Among these resources are a comprehensive guide on the CRPD that explain how local government can safeguard this right in their operation. We have also developed an e-learning course aimed at local government employees, and the e-learning course is very popular amongst employees. So we think that this is a kind of smart tools. The course aims to provide participants with a basic understanding of the convention, its core principle and importance and practical ways to implement in their professional roles. In Norway, no citizen can be required to live in a specific place or in a specific form of housing. The right articulated in Article 19 are expressed and promoted in various ways in national legislations. When it comes to social care services, the Norwegian Health and Care Services Act counts securing independent living and equality at two of its main goals. It also states that the services should, as far as possible, promote individual self-determination. Norwegian municipalities offer practical assistance and training organized as user-controlled, user-led personal assistance, BPA or UPA, you know what I mean. BPA has been an individual right since 2015 for people aged under 67 years, with a substantial long-term need for assistance. But it varies quite much among municipalities in Norway. Despite this, the people with disabilities still face barriers to self-determination in their living arrangements. As municipalities often state how and where they must live to access services. One area of particular concern is the situation for people with intellectual disability in Norway. People who need personal assistance or support in the housing market have the same right to live independently and to participate in society. At the same time, the need for assistance can sometimes lead to social exclusion and isolation, especially if support services are not tailored to individual needs or if care providers are under time constraint. In Norway, many people with disability rent their homes from the local government. Municipalities mainly offer two types of housing for those who need it. The first are care homes for individuals who have been granted round-the-clock health care services. The second is municipal rental housing for people who are unable to obtain or maintain satisfactory housing conditions on their own. The design and location of these homes are central to whether individuals can fulfill the right to be fully included and participate in society. In the 1990s, Norway experienced a shift towards community living and deinstitutionalization. It became a clear political goal that no one should live in institution or institution-like housing arrangements due to their disability. The reform era regulation set the maximum number of people grouped together at 4 to 5. This reform was most clearly spelled out in regard to services for people with intellectual disability. The goal was for people with intellectual disability to move into ordinary housing in their local community and in their home municipalities. However, the situation also in Norway today is that many lived in shared housing facilities of a certain size and with a service organized that makes many of them similar to the institution they were meant to replace. In the 1990s, a typical group home consisted only of people with intellectual disability living together, whereas today a number of people with different disabilities live together in mixed groups, for example with elderly people and/or people with mental health issues. And since the late 1990s, we have seen a steady increase in the size of shared housing facilities. The average number of residents in shared housing facilities built in Norway over the past 10 years is now 9 people. And as the speaker from EU, we see the same all over Europe. It's very interesting. Hva skal vi se? Nei, ja. In Norway, the parliamentary ombudsman. No, it was finished. Okay. In Norway, the parliamentary ombudsman conducts visits to places where individuals are or could be deprived of their liberty. Since 2020, the parliamentary ombudsman has visited several groups' homes for adults with intellectual disability. A key finding was that the living condition of some residents initially contribute to isolation, deterioration of existing health problems, and in ways use of physical force. The parliamentary ombudsman also noted that the use of force could have been avoided if the residents had lived elsewhere or the composition of residents and the living environment had been arranged differently. Norway faces ongoing challenges in achieving full equality for people with disability. However, the recent declaration made by the Norwegian government to prepare a bill on the incorporation of the CRPD in the human rights law shows Norway's ongoing commitment to ensure equal rights and opportunity for people with disability. I hope that today's discussion will inspire and strengthen national efforts to turn the principle of the Convention into meaningful action. Thank you.